This is Rachel Sakhi from Los Angeles, California, and I was telling you about cooking hash browns and eggs, but not necessarily eggs. I'm more focused on the hash browns. I was taught this recipe by one of my paramours a decade ago. So I just want to share the recipe with you. It's a really new type of way of making your own homemade hash browns. It doesn't take very long. All you need is a saucepan with some vegetable oil in it, as you can see. You want to put the fire on low so that you can bring the vegetable oil to a nice heat, and basically take 3 red new potatoes and use a grater, and you'd want to grate. This is the most important part. You want to grate the potatoes and turn the grated potatoes into something that looks like this. So I've made 3 piles of grated red new potatoes, and you're going to need a spatula, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. You could this is going to be the main course of a breakfast. So you could either use curry powder and salt to make Indian style hash browns, or you can use masala. This is Indian masala. It's not quite like Afghani garam masala, but you can still use this, and it's gonna taste just fine, okay? It's just gonna have a new exotic and different taste, but you'd wanna use something that is an exotic spice, like garam masala or Indian curry powder, okay? Mixed with salt. So, the oil has been brought to a nice heat, okay, because you want the heat to be low enough so that the potatoes on the inside cooks fairly well, but you also want to form a hard crust on the outside of the hash brown, and that's the key, okay? And you want to get all those exotic spices soaked and absorbed into those hash browns. So, let's see if the potatoes are going to stick. Let's see if the fire is hot enough here. And usually you can test how hot a fire is other than listening to it sizzle. Is you could take a little bit of cold water, and if there's no response, then it's probably not hot enough. Put it a little bit higher, and then if you take some water and splash it and it sizzles even more, then you know that it's hot enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of these piles, and I'm not going to season the potatoes. I'm just going to kind of drop it on in there, and then I'm going to mold it to look exactly how I want it to look. Okay, I'm going to turn the fire up a little higher, and then I'm going to spread out the potatoes, the grated potatoes, the size of a large pancake. Okay, and it's going to start to cook slowly. You want to make a perfectly round pancake-shaped hash brown. Okay, and then kind of smash down the top. It's going to be frying on the bottom. It's going to look something like this. So this is your round hash brown, okay? The oil is on the bottom, and it's frying the bottom to a hard crisp. And you want to go ahead and let that come to a hard crisp. And then I'll take this dry tea container, and I'm going to put some salt and some masala, Indian masala in. You could also use cayenne pepper or red hot chili pepper, but curry powders and more exotic spices will taste a lot better, okay? So let's see if I have. Okay, I've got shish kebab spice, but I'm not going to use that. So we're just going to stick with this, and it's frying nice and good right now. And I'm just going to shake the spices to turn it into a nice mixture. Shake them around. Let me taste it. Tastes pretty good. The fire's kind of high, and it's really loose right now. So I want it to continue to fry because I want it to stick together. So I'm going to fry it and pour the spices over the top portion of the hash brown pancake. Want to get it nice and spicy. So it's starting to fry right now, and on the bottom, as you can see, it's, well, I don't know if you can actually see because the lighting's pretty bad in here. However, it's turning into like a potato chip on the bottom. So I'm gonna see, now it's kind of moving all in one unit. So that means I can flip it over and it's gonna stay together. Okay, now as you can see, it's nice and crispy on the back side. Now there's spices on the opposite side. So right now the spices are kind of absorbing into the entire portion of the, the insides of the potatoes. So this is gonna taste really delicious. I mean, it's really good. Okay, so I'm gonna fry that. Now it's on high. Try not to break it up into pieces because then it'll turn into a slop. You don't want to eat slop. Just continue to brown the opposite side and you'll be fine. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to put the remainder of the mixture into this bowl here. And rinse this bowl off so that I can prepare to put the hash brown in the plate. Okay, I'm gonna have to invest in some kitchen towels soon. I forget every time I go outside to purchase some. So, okay, let's check on this hash brown. It's a little bit loose, but it's still moving around in one unit, okay? These are my all-time favorite hash browns. I swear, people teach me the strangest things, and here I am 10 years later, still making the things that they've taught me so long ago. But, it comes in really handy. It's like teaching a person, excuse me. It's like teaching a person how to fish for themselves, Instead of cooking and cooking and cooking for them, you stop and then you teach them, and then you never know how long during their lifetime that they'll carry the things that you teach them with themselves. And in my case, basically, I'm still utilizing all the things that people that I've met in the past have taught me. So here I am. And like I said, this is one of my absolute favorites. And these are homemade hash browns with exotic spices on them. I'm using masala right now and salt and vegetable oil, but you can use curry powder and salt and vegetable oil, and you can change up the flavors, but mostly Indian and Afghani spices will bring out the flavor of the hash brown the best. So let me check on that hash brown. And I'm going to get ready to make the second one. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, this is the hash brown, and as you can see, it's tender and soft on the opposite side, but it's nice and crispy. You can, oh my God, it tastes so good. Okay, and you have to balance out the spices to make sure that there's spices only on one side, because you don't want to put too many spices and then, do an overkill or anything of that nature. But yeah, let me go ahead and taste this. And oh my God, it's so delicious. I've been making this for 10 years. And then you can, and it's so nice and crispy. See, you can see, break a piece off. It tastes so good with soft sunny side up eggs on the side. Okay, so let me finish making the rest of the hash browns. Remember how I did this, because you'll love making your own hash browns after you try doing this one time. You won't want to go back to any other kind of hash brown. You won't want the hash browns from McDonald's after you learn how to do these homemade hash browns. So as the vegetable oil is getting hotter and the pan is, is already made one, as you can see, the hash brown pancake is kind of moving in one unit already. So because the pan is nice and hot. So I'm going to try and flip it over. Well, actually, let me put the spices on there. Okay, so this one is kind of soft on one side, kind of crispy on the other side. These are the most delicious hash browns you could ever possibly make by yourself. All by yourself. Real simple and easy. And you don't even have to use very much vegetable oil. But like I said, the key is having just a simple, this cost me 99 cents at the 99-cent store. In Koreatown. So Koreatown's got great stores and they manufacture so many things that everything comes really easy to them. So they're they're able to share with everyone what they have to offer at really cheap prices. And I say they're the best manufacturers and distributors other than the Chinese people. But yeah, I mean, they make awesome clothes, sell, kitchen items for 50 cents, 99 cents. All you gotta do, Koreatown's my favorite hangout. I mean, they've got everything you could possibly want. They have everything, okay? All right. So, I have some vegetable. This is in Spanish. I can't understand it. Okay. I have cholesterol-free butter. 40%. It's reduced calorie, 40% vegetable oil spread, and it's by Golden Soft. I'm gonna use this to cook my eggs in because it's a lot more flavorful. But there, see, it was easy to flip it now. The spices have absorbed into it. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it on over. As you can see, we've got 2 pancake hash browns. Okay, gonna pour a little bit more oil, like that. And go ahead and dump the rest in there. Okay, gonna shape. You have to play around with the shredded hash browns or the grated hash browns while it's in the pan because you have to shape it. So don't be afraid to use your fingers and touch. I mean, as long as you wash your hands, I mean, you can have a lot more fun with everything that you're doing in the kitchen, including eating. I mean, you don't always have to eat with a fork. I mean, I eat with my hands in public all the time, unless I'm eating noodles in Koreatown, then I'll use chopsticks. But me and forks aren't really best friends. But just use your fingers and use the spatula and don't burn yourself, but kind of play around with it and shape it and mold it. It's not going to bite you or hurt you or anything like that. So you want to flatten it down as much as possible. Make it as flat as a pancake. Whew, that was hot. Okay, so there you have it, nice and round. Oh, by the way, I know you notice something very different about me right now, and that's that I don't have silver hair or black hair or golden blonde and brown hair mixed together. That's because it's really, really hot today in Los Angeles, and I live in a little studio loft on the 5th floor in a high-rise building right in the target of sunshine. Okay, so basically my apartment receives most of the heat. I'm on the corner of the building on the roof. So basically it's really hot in here today. It's hot outside as well. So I'm not wearing a wig because it feels like a winter cap sometimes. Now, if I'm skating or if I'm on the ice, then I'll wear a wig. And it keeps me nice and warm, and even if I'm going places in Los Angeles or whatever, it's nice, and it also feels like a scarf, and scarves feel like blankets, and blankets are really cozy and comfy and stuff like that. But I'm not wearing it now because it's really hot, and I mean I've already got a sweater. I've got a sweater on, and it's just too much. So by the way, let me get some water so the last pancake is cooking, and as you can see, it's maneuvering around the pan very easily. I'm going to flip it right now, actually.